I got to get your thoughts on this Hunter Biden verdict. What do you think about all of this craziness?
I agree with everything you said. I've been listening for a while, and I think this was an absolute distraction, right? This was, you got to get them on something. You got to throw them a bone. They looked at the laptop and saw the hundreds of crimes that they know he's guilty of, and they went for the easy one. And this is a pretty easy one. The jury deliberated very quickly and came to its decision. He will not get any jail time. He'll get community service or a fine, and they'll say, you were an addict at the time, and so we feel sorry for you. And this is supposed to cover up for the fact that the most egregious, not the Russian hookers, not the crack. I mean, who hasn't been there at one point in their life, right? But the most egregious is the violation of the Foreign Agent Registration Act, which is working on behalf of foreign countries. I mean, he's an agent of Ukraine, of China. He's not selling secrets, but he's clearly peddling influence for his own personal enrichment, not for the good of America by any means. And that is a huge violation of very, very clear diplomatic American law, as well as patriotism. And that is where he's truly guilty, but they'll just ignore all of that.
So, I mean, yeah, it's unbelievable to me that none of the foreign influence peddling is even being investigated at all. I mean, you have Hunter Biden sitting on the board of Burisma making $86,000 a month on retainer. Somebody like you, CEO of Power the Future, like, okay, maybe I could see that. Somebody who has, experience in the oil and gas industry, probably be able to add value to the industry. Hunter Biden, I mean, the guy is a nothing burger. And isn't it interesting that like all the Russian hookers and stuff like that come out and the Democrats push this Russian PP tape hoax on President Trump? And it goes back to my golden rule that everything that the Democrats accuse Republicans of, they themselves are guilty of. And this is just one more example of it.
Yeah, it is. And there's a list. I think the number is 23 or 24, but there's a list of the 23 or 24 companies that the Bidens created as soon as Joe was elected vice president back in 2009. And none of the companies have ever produced anything. They've never created a product. And there are consultancy firms, right? I don't think your product has to be tangible. I'm not that troglodytic, right? That I believe you have to actually make it. But they have to do something. And they didn't consult. They didn't offer strategic services. No one knows what the hell they did. And yet dozens of companies that made hundreds of millions of dollars for him and his uncles and 10% for the big guy. There's a lot of there. And, I'm glad you mentioned how they would go after the Trump sons. I believe it was Eric Trump who just very soon after the inauguration, he had a charity cancer that they went after for violating 501c3 rules and a whole bunch of fake charges that were all dismissed. But I mean, this was a charity for children's cancer, and they put the guy through the ringer. Hunter's got business for-profit operations that no one knows what the hell he does, and it's just it's fine, it's all good. It's a Biden, and the Bidens have gotten away with this for decades.
Mike Lindell here, and like you, I see our country being destroyed daily. We face massive economic issues, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are people in power who threaten the values that have made our country great. Well, I've been a believer in gold and silver for a long time, and I've searched for years for a partner that shares my values. Well, Genesis Gold Group showed me how easy it is to protect your IRA, 401k, or your retirement with gold and silver. Their faith-driven approach to service and stewardship is one that stands out from the rest.
To get your free definitive gold guide and get started learning more about investing in gold and protecting your retirement from uncertain times, visit rvmgold.com now. Fill out the basic contact form and a member of the team will be in touch. Again, that's rvmgold.com or call 855-625-7760.